the field. Karmine Corp hit the field with Tundra as they push to prove their position in the European region as one at the top. Let's find out if their momentum carries over from day one or if Tundra surprises.
Well, congratulations to Tundra. It looks like they are moving on this one. We're not doing the best right now when it comes to overall predictions. Maybe that's about to change. I predict, however, that overall Rocket League in Europe will continue to be absolutely incredible, Johnny.
Well, you know, NA, they laid down the marker last weekend and showed depth we've never seen before. I think Europe just trying to remind everybody that it's been like this and always will be like this. And you can never predict who's going to win in this region. But this is one of the matchups that we were all pretty unanimous on, and the desk right now, again, unanimous on as well. Karmine Corp, massive favorites here. After looking so dangerous, their offense has been unbelievable so far this event. Tundra going to try their best to stop all that, and I think counterattacks are going to play a big part of this. You know, the 50-50 game needs to be on point as well. We should not count them out after what we've just seen Quadrant do.
Certainly not, as Europe has given us, I believe, 6 out of the 7 series that we've had over the past 2 days have gone to Game 7. Are we going to make it 7 of 8? Well, it's time to find out, and it does look like the overall emphasis will be on Tundra to try and get us over there. Here is Rookie of the Season candidate, according to Cole. Raziers onto the ball. Not going to let him forget about that one.
I know we do. Well, we did... you know, I have to make fun of Cole a little bit there for calling Raziers Rookie of the Season in a season after his rookie season. But, you know, if we're looking at just newer players who have not yet made a deep run in a tournament, yeah, I think Raziers is going to be in that conversation by the end of the season. He's fantastic as an individual. I think he's got a great mentality. But, you know, that's not going to count for much if you just get dusted to the punch. Matira with an open net. And well played, Itachi, past Castillo, quickly recovers, past the last man as well, and leaves it wide open for his teammate.
That first touch by Itachi was immaculate. Just the next player up couldn't believe that he still had that level of control over it, because you'd expect one player's dived in. Okay, we're going to at least disrupt them a little bit. Didn't seem to be the case, and Exotic disrupting the defenders even more. That was class.
Yeah, he's cheated down the line there after grabbing the boost, and he's in the perfect position for it. It's a fantastic kickoff there from KC to force the ball out to the side. So wait to see if they keep on going for that one, now that they're 2 goals ahead.
Only been a minute and a half. AC do not want to add to the entertainment value that we've had maybe so far. They want this one to be done, dusted, move on to the semi-finals as Itachi. So wait quite a while there actually to be challenged. Tundra seemed a little bit scared now after what Itachi did to them earlier on. Don't want to send the house anymore because they might get dusted for a second time. Ziz with Castillo. Yeah, Castillo knows that that's just not happening. Vatira loitering downfield. AC do not look even the slightest bit afraid of Tundra. Hey, we'll be able to Tundra just to add some fear to them, but right now it's not happening. There's always a KC player in their side of the field. Defense, offense, wherever. They're going to make sure that they've at least got the option around.
That's maybe a bit of a mistake there from Matira. He takes the back corner boost. That leaves Itachi behind him on 0, but he's done well with it. He's taken the boost, but he makes a good play with it, and that means that actually he had time to go and grab 100 of his own. You've always got to do that. You know, if you're going to, it's like taking responsibility. You take the back corner 100, you best be making a play on that ball, or at least forcing an easy touch into a position your teammate can deal with. That's exactly what Vatira's done there.
Oh, Vatira looks to be up, but they couldn't quite find the second touch. And quite a statement so far, though, by KC, as that's going to dip very close towards going in. Just palmed away for temporarily. What a pinch. It's not going to really disrupt Vatira too much, but still. Good to see it. And now Vatira, he responds. Try and save that one. Rizex back just in time. But looking at stat line right now, no shots. It's only saves. And it looks very similar like that for every player on Tundra.
Yeah, the Tundra have got 1 shot to their name, but it wasn't really a shot. It was just the ball rolling towards the goal that a KC goalkeeper collected. So it's more of a giveaway of possession than a shot, realistically. So you know, they're not creating chances here. They're not creating realistic chances. They need to up the aggression. They need, I think, to have a bit more confidence just moving forward. This is exactly what they have to do. If the ball is going to get centered in this last minute, there best be somebody there for it, because to score 2 against Karmine Corp, are out-pressuring them and I think outpacing them as well, you have to take some risks.
Good challenge by Vatira. Opportunity here to try and add the third, especially as Razir's touch is going to require a bit of help. The smoke screen off the post. Karmine Corp just settling down now for this final minute. They've done the hard work. Been relatively untested as well. And not for the first time, Johnny, we've seen a team have to prioritize defense, but this is maybe one of those times where the offensive team has found the most success. We've seen teams like Soda, heck, even for the very first match that we had today, one team heavily in the defensive corner, at least able to make something of it. Tundra, that's not quite happened here in game 1.
Yeah, they at times have defended pretty well. I think they, done okay to keep this dangerous Karmine Corp roster to only 2 goals in this game, but they've had absolutely nothing in the way of counter punches. They've had no counter-attacking threats. Until now, I think that was their best chance, actually. I was going to say no passing plays, but that was a good try at the end there to get the ball into the middle. And the other issue is we haven't seen any of that solo play potential that this team does have at times. I think Razir's in particular, very good individual carrier of the ball, but we need to see more of that. We need to see them just hold on to possession, treat it like I think the most valuable possession that they've got, because they're not going to get to see it very often against the Karmine Corp roster who are playing like this.
Yeah, they're very good at controlling the ball, but unfortunately they're being played at a pace that's maybe a gear above what they're used to, because it just seems like they have to react to everything at the moment. It's not, how can I play this one well? It's just, how can I play it at all? How can I get there in a way that Karmine Corp aren't going to be able to get another couple of free touches? So it's now a question for them, and it's a question that they're going to need to try and find the answer to pretty quickly. If not, this could get a little bit one-sided, as Karmine Corp played brilliantly.
It is going to work better from a tie game scenario. They went 1 down pretty early on in that game, and then another goal followed as well. So if they're going to play this defensively, if they're going to be sitting with 2 players on the halfway line as their third tries to center the ball, yeah, you want to at least be in a tie game. We saw a little bit of a flurry at the end there by Tundra, but really not much to write home about. So will they up the aggression, or will they just try and make sure that they don't lose a goal early on here with allowing an Itachi 1v2 play?
I'll ask you as well about Vatira on this roster, and just sort of, do you find that he is one of the players with the most pressure on him going into this split? He moved away from Moist, a team that had brilliant results, but said that his heart was always in joining the massive org that is Karmine Corp, especially huge over in France. Now that he's got this with him, is he one of the players that needs to step up the most this split, or has he got the leeway of a season?
Well, anything other than winning will not be good enough for any of Vatira's critics, but luckily for him, it won't be good enough for him either, anything except a win. So I think he's going to have a ton of pressure on him, but that's sort of what he wants. He's always put a lot of pressure on himself with the way that he calls out his opponents and says that his team's the best in the world, whatever team that is that he's on. He likes that pressure. He definitely enjoys putting himself under as much of that as he can. So I could see him thriving. He's got a lot to do, but definitely a capable player. And at the moment, it looked like they are on a fast track to a deep run in this tournament. Just yet to see really any threats from Tundra that will cause Karmine Corp any issues. And if Karmine Corp can stay consistent themselves, it is up to Tundra to make those threats a reality instead of just a theory.
Also, this has been a better start though from Tundra. They look like they're controlling the ball much more efficiently, although they are now in a bit of a rough spot. Razir's aerialing straight upwards means you can't get good contact. Cassio has to help out. Razir powers the ball, but here's where the follow-up's needed. With a loose touch from Exotic, actually re-invites Tundra into their side of the field. Apache to Vatira. Vatira's gonna try and take it the whole way. Again, the first touch not quite happening, although that's a whoopsie. And Itachi will score 1-0.
Yeah, just not what Tundra need. Cassio's jumped off in the complete wrong direction there. You know, he had to get up quickly, but it's the fact that he knows he's got to go quickly for that ball that's forced him to miss. It's just the pressure that Karmine Corp have put on Tundra this entire series so far. They're playing so quickly that Tundra know anything other than as fast as humanly possible, at least in terms of what they're capable of, is not going to be fast enough. And when you've got teams and players like Cassio pushing themselves to the limits of their mechanical capabilities, you're going to start to see more mistakes like that. Just flying off in the wrong direction, didn't get himself correctly oriented before taking off, and then it was too late.
Oh, what a block, and Vatira. I have no idea how he anticipated that, but he still gets there to keep the ball out of his goal. Currently, Karmine Corp far away from it still, but working on their perfect sweep. 3 goals overall to them, and that's it. Not gone just yet, but surely there's a follow.
Whoa!
Almost kept out again, but the perfect sweep disappears. Tundra looking to make a series of it.
It's not the best clear by Itachi, but Tira almost gets the double save. He managed to knock that into the post. The follow through is what put the ball across the goal line. Crazy defensive stand by Vatira though. He needed just a bit more help from Itachi there. Itachi's clear really just went absolutely nowhere, but still give Vatira the chance to show off his goalkeeping skills before Tundra got their first goal.
Oh, and this is a good position for them, but the pass was very far away from what was needed. Cassio ended up having to scramble just to keep the ball under possession rather than just taking a shot. It's in those positions that you're not going to get to see too often if you're Tundra. You need to make them count as and when you can, although I do like the arrow from Cassio. Zotic to the midfield. Tira can't take control. Cassio's still trying to rumble his way back. Nice second touch from Raziz, but no midfield pressure happening at the moment for Tundra. Happy just to invite the pressure on for now. We finally get rid of it. Vatira, half volley, hits the ceiling. That's good news for Tundra. Every time you hit that ceiling, it takes so much of the pace off the ball. It's guaranteed to be able to at least take control over in the midfield. Cassio back up. Itachi, what a challenge. And Tundra have to restart from the beginning.
Trying to play a bit of a quicker turnaround there, Tundra, instead of dribbling the ball all the way back into their half. So, you know, clearly showing that they are at least willing to try and be a bit more aggressive with their decision-making. Put the pressure on Karmine Corp earlier rather than just waiting for them to make a mistake. You know, the waiting for a mistake strategy doesn't look entirely out of the question here. As the one goal that did occur this series for Tundra, it did come off a Karmine Corp mistake. So at a 1-1 scoreline, I don't hate what they're doing here. They can't rely fully on this very defensive stance to get a series win as a whole.
I don't like it with 5 minutes left. When you get to this point where next goal is huge, go for it. You don't know how the next goal is going to happen. As Exotic will take over in his own side of the field. Does have Vatira midfield, but also a charging Raziz might give his team one final opportunity. Bobs it into the corner. Itachi tasked with getting rid of it, and everyone happy just to go for overtime.
It's just better midfield performance from Tundra in this game. Are they going to be susceptible to an early goal here? Exotic 50s it past Rizix, who just did the right thing there, stayed calm. He was completely left alone after the kickoff went against him. He got a touch on the ball, denying the fake, and now it's into the middle. Razier scores it, and that is all it took for the win. Itachi plays for the boost, did not play the ball, invited Vatira into the corner with him, and there was just nobody able to cover the middle. 1-1.
Wow. Tundra, fair play. They made the adaptations there. They were so much more aggressive. I believe you mentioned as well there, Johnny, how it just
seemed like
they
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did it. Someone was in the middle when the pass came across. They're like clearly more aggressive, like you say.
2 players in the other side of the field tends to help out at least a little bit. But one thing I do really want to hop on here as well is just giving Cassio his due. He's still here. Like every single time people start to write him off, he finds another team and he's right back into an RLCS top 8. Just want to get that out there. Congratulations, man. Keep it going.
Yeah. Continually underrated, Cassio. I mean, career-wise, very underrated career. He's still going, and not just clinging on to relevancy. He's really shooting for a top 4 here, which, you know, yesterday I pointed out that it's Tundra who have got the question mark next to their current top 8 status. They're in the top 8, so You know, you could just argue based on results alone that they're a top 8 team in Europe. But when you look at who they beat to get in here, that's where the question mark comes up. And you see that they didn't beat any other top 8 teams in Swiss. Can they do it here against Karmine Corp, though, and just completely remove that question mark next to their top 8 status? Maybe even get into the top 4.
And we need to harp on it as well about how big the previous result is now for everybody else's hopes of getting top 5. Because despite BDS being out, everyone's going to still have them making the major. Oh, wait a minute! Oh, this is a man that belongs.
Well, I thought Archie said that none of his former teammates were mechanical. What is that shot by Casio? Completely surprising. Exotic, who is waiting for the ball to come down to him. Casio beat him to it and slots in an extremely tight angle rebound. You know, this is becoming a very interesting tournament. We've got Archie versus one of his former teammates tomorrow in Relating Wave, and potentially Casio waiting for him further on in the tournament if they can keep this up.
I joked about it before we went on air, but I'm now starting to believe in it. I might go 0-4 today on predictions if this keeps
Are you 0-2 right now?
I'm 0-2.
I'm 1 for 2, but this is not going my way. I mean, everybody predicted Karmine Corp to win this one, so what a massive step-up performance this is from Tundra. Really, I think this is their proving grounds. This is where they can really show that they're not just peaking to get into top 8, but really in the conversation for a major spot.
But we were talking about how there's a top 6, and maybe one of those teams isn't going to make it.
Ooh.
Exotic does get one back, but then you've got teams like Quadrant, maybe even Tundra here. If they both take wins, suddenly those top 5 spots are so heavily contested.
Yeah, we thought coming into today, we've got 6 teams fighting for those 5 spots, but Quadrant have already beaten BDS, so now we've got to put them into the mix as well. That's 7. If Tundra can beat Karmine Corp, that's 8. Just how many more teams are going to rise up to the occasion and start to put themselves in a good position before Regional 3 comes around, the final regional of the split. It's a chance for Vatira. He doesn't get a good contact on it. It's all about the placement on the previous goal for Karmine Corp, both with the pass and the finish. Vatira's placement was off on that one.
Oh my goodness.
Though. Last second reset. He waited for the defender to jump, and he flips it over the top of him. Fantastic mechanical play.
I'm out here over in Dreamland considering a team race to get those top 5 spots. Itachi happy to crush those dreams. 2-1. KC looking to put themselves back on the front foot after a rough game 2. A game 2 where they were still the stronger team despite the loss. They definitely had more possession, but you're up against a team that are now starting to find their form and find a little bit of courage as well, Johnny, to leave players in more offensive positions rather than think they need to get everybody behind the ball.
Yeah, no, like we said yesterday, like we've said already today, Karmine Corp look far from invincible defensively. They've had some, crazy saves and save attempts from Vatira in the series, but definitely not. They're far from fully organized when it comes to their defensive structure. I think that the more defensively sound team, at least when it comes to sitting on the back foot, oh my goodness, that's just gone straight through the middle and no contact. But yeah, Tundra have definitely got a good game plan. They're spreading out quite well. They're getting a lot for their touches in the ball, but they are still getting beaten to it.
Always beat.
Positioning only does so much. You've got to be quick off the mark. That is exactly what's happening right now. Great bump attempt there by Raziers, forcing Karmine Corp goalkeeper to lunge in and out of his own net. The shot was not accurate enough. It's off the bar now.
That was the one. Maybe Raziers can give them another chance at this. But the 2v1, can they get something better than that? Raziers. Only as far as Vatira. 2 minutes left on the clock here. In this swing game, Casio. Right back down. Itachi looks to try and find some way out of this blue side of the field. Casio back in again. All of these challenges going very well for KC. They're pushing them over into the corner, making it difficult for Tundra to follow up. And that's a good opportunity for them. Shot forces a save. And now they're just going to keep pinging it and wait for the chance. There might come a moment where KC are out of boost, or maybe you can just demo the goalkeeper. Looks to hold on to it, and Exotic almost got hit again. Have the pressure on the goalkeeper. Do not have the shot.
It's like you said, their aggression off the ball's been perfect so far. At the tail end of game 3, the shooting accuracy is letting them down, not by much, but these small margins are the difference between trailing 2-1 and tying the game, maybe even taking the lead. Tundra starting to up the aggression at the end of the game. It's what they have to do in these positions. But Karmine Corp just clinging on that fourth and sometimes fifth defender that the post of the crossbar can be. Really doing a lot of work for them in this game.
Castillo demo before moving in. Not going to get anything for it. Oh, and that is just going to... Oh, hit the crossbar. Well, at least it goes either side as Rizex with Raziz loitering in the goal line. Last place that Tundra want to be, but what a play this has been from Rizex. He's given his team so much breathing room, and now they can have another crack at this. 30 seconds. They need a goal. They've been the team that have had the opportunities in this game. It's been a complete juxtaposition of what we've had previously. Raziz, pass, Castillo shoots! No power on it! Exotic keeps it away. Rizex tried to find an awkward angle for himself. He was trying to rotate out and decided he had to rotate back in. And now they've been beat to the bull. KC survive 3-1.
Well, it's not been for a lack of chances. This game has gone away from Tundra Esports, but it's in such a different way when we compare it to game one. Game one, they really created nothing until the very closing seconds of the game, but they're already down by 2, and the game's pretty much over. This game, they've created plenty of chances. They've really started to use off-the-ball play to force KC defenders into awkward positions. And credit to KC, they've been called upon to make some tough saves, and they have made some tough saves in this match. They've, they've been in uncomfortable positions at times, but they've gotten out of these positions using their superior mechanical ability that's still, I think, pretty clear in this matchup. Tundra have got to do better with their striking. It's as simple as that here. Crossbar, post, too close to the goalkeeper. We've got a bit of everything in this game when it comes how not to hit. You're supposed to not hit the ball. And that's off the back of a fantastic mechanical play from Castillo. That's how we kick things off. And then Itachi later on in the game got one of his own. So it's a very interesting series here. Still unclear just how it's going to finish, but Karmine Corp are in front as we expected.
It's one of those games where I really love what I saw from Tundra, but I question whether or not we're going to be able to see it again. This might be one of those games where you look back and just go, you needed to take this. That was the game that you had to take. You were the you're in a stronger position.
They should have won. I mean, they lost 3-1 in this game. Obviously, they're really pressing up aggressively, down 2-1 with a few seconds left, lost another goal. That, it wouldn't matter if they were already in a tie game or even in front. I think it was just down to their shooting. They've figured out a way to create those chances. Now they just got to take them. So if they can up their clinical finishing, I think we've got a series in our hands. Otherwise, Karmine Corp, I still think, are the better mechanical team and the scarier team offensively. We got a glimmer of that from Itachi in this game. He's maybe been called out, and Itachi and Exotic have been called out when Vatira joined the roster. A lot of people are naturally comparing them to Moist and Vatira's old team, thinking, well, where's the Joyo? Where's the Rise? Where are the aggressive players that made Vatira such a great defender? Well, maybe Itachi can be that guy now, because now he's getting to play a little bit more carefree and get into offense a bit. This guy's mechanical. He's got solo play potential. And I want to see much more of that from him as well.
We've also seen from previous roster moves how, despite there being players out there that do get lauded for how good they are defensively, not many players want to be that. I remember Mist making a move away from, I believe, the Peeps roster, where it was just, it was great. Everyone thought I was great defensively. I don't want to be that player. I want to be able to get more involved and have my own opportunities and thrive in that sort of way. That'll be certainly questions for Vatira to answer. Right now, he's looking to try and answer all of the questions with his own gameplay, and I'm not too sure what's happening over here. Exotic lost possession of the ball. He doesn't have any boost. Itachi goes up early. And we're back to what we've seen in previous games. Tundra up against it defensively, but they have got out.
Yeah, Vatira did have boost in the midfield there, but both of his teammates were overextended with 0, so he didn't really want to get involved in the attack that close to the goal. So any 50-50 would have been risky to take in that position. So, no rush here from Karmine Corp. They're playing patiently. They knew that they had their opponent's boost starved there, but their own boost wasn't in a great situation either. So glad to see that they're not just bashing their head into the brick wall here. They are taking their time, trying to avoid those unforced errors which plagued them in the Swiss stage.
Vatira, second touch. That's so awkward. Itachi off the backboard. This will be an unchallenged shot.
Oh, what
save. Raziz under pressure on the goal line. Knew he couldn't go left or right, so he went backwards.
just fantastic from Raziers. Here comes another one. It's wide this time from Itachi, but it's now Karmine Corp starting to be piling on the pressure, just as Tundra did at the end of game number 3. Both these teams have definitely got the goalkeeping figured out. We've seen plenty superb stops. That one might have just, I think, been the best. It's just the fact that Vatira didn't get the double save earlier leaves it open for Raziers to now claim maybe best save in the series with that one. Oh, it's a 50. It's on net. Raziers did not have the pace or the boost to get there. You cannot be taking risky 50s like this when your teammates behind you need time. Rizix was on the outside of the ball there. He's not goal side. He's forcing it middle. And yeah, that's what happens when you force it middle and you get dunked on.
Yeah, it just looked like he didn't catch the ball the way he wanted to and he fell down. It looked like he just wanted to be the player in the middle. Bad landing, put him in the worst spot of the two, and Vatira does pick up the goal. So maybe we get a chance to see offensive Tundra yet again. They're a goal down, half the game left to play. And in need of a goal, otherwise they are going to be up against triple match point. Vatira, that's such an early jump. Rizix is equal to it. It's actually now off the backboard. DC are a very patient team, as it seems, whenever they've got the lead. Not too desperate to try and add that second goal. They're happy and they rely on their own defensive side of the ball should they need to use it. Rizix waiting for his own chance over in the corner. Follow up very early by Vatira. That's a clean beat. Exotic again, KC. Looks like they're starting to find that gear above Tundra yet again. It was very obvious in games 1 and 2. It's less obvious in the last one, but now they are just getting easy wins.
Yeah, once again, Tundra with a 0-shot game. I mean, I'm calling the first game up until around about this time in the game, minute 30 left, a 0-shot game because there were no relevant shots up to that point. This is literally a 0-shot game, almost 4 minutes gone already, and it's one of the issues that Tundra have in this matchup, it would seem, is that when Karmine Corp do put it together in the midfield, when they can avoid mistakes and we can all, you know, just when they can get a goal in front and then just continue to take low-risk plays and rely on their mechanics to do the talking, they are the better team. That's another great save. This time Rizix keeps it at 1. Just like Raziers, who made a great stop earlier, he was under pressure as well. Tundra needs so much more than this. They just can't get out of their own half. They can't fight for the midfield. They're stuck in defense. And yeah, Karmine Corp are just, they're too good. When they get rolling, I think they are just a level above Tundra. Like you mentioned last game, Tundra missed their chance when Karmine Corp were not playing this well in game number 3. Now it's getting away from them.
I would love next time we get into a position, or even if after the kickoff, we can keep a camera on Itachi for a little while. I've been really fascinated by his positioning, the way he plays this, because the offense has turned it into a 2-man threat between Vatira and Exotic, and they seem pretty committed to that one. We're not going to see any rotation in this one. That is very much game done. But Itachi had...
Oh dear, oh dear.
Okay, here we go. Johnny Boy kickoff time.
No, sorry, that's all I need. That's all I wanted to say.
Do they get any sort of, leeway given that they're 2 goals down?
No, that was horrendous.
Okay.
Cassio half-flipping the other way, like that's just not good. If he's gonna half-flip that way, he's got to be, speeding down the line, and the ball best be coming towards him. That makes absolutely no sense at all. That was a bot kickoff, a literal NPC kickoff. Come on, Tundra, you're better than this.
Tundra, I think you're great, okay? Just ignore Johnny, he's being mean.
They've had their moments. No, they've definitely had their moments here. I think they've got a shot in this matchup, but they missed too many chances in game number 3. Clear-cut chances, hitting the bar, hitting the post, hitting the goalkeeper. But yeah, this game, they were just, I don't think they had a chance because Karmine Corp were too good. That was the main issue, and if you're 2 goals down with not much time in the clock, you best be bringing a kickoff strategy that makes sense. It's the only set piece in the game. They've close cheated with a dead ball. Now, if you've got a close cheat and a dead ball kickoff, the last man just has to hang about somewhere near the goal. That's all you got to do. But he's half flipped the wrong way and landed down the line. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If you want to see how to not do a kickoff, that's one of the ones to check out. We've got options these days. A lot of kickoffs going wrong in RLCS, so we'll definitely come back to that later.
Do you want a pre-show topic on this at some point? I would love to give you the time for it.
We just need a separate show entirely. We just a midweek
a kickoff. Just literally, that's what it's called, the kickoff.
I mean, it's happened for so long now that, and you know, pro players are playing such unbelievable Rocket League these days. I just expect more for that than I see from some top teams and players, and I know that they're better than this. But one of the things that I, you know, just have no time for is players not half flipping both ways. If you can't half flip right and left, and what I mean by that is slightly right and slightly left on the landing, I could do that. I'm a caster. I'm like hardstock Grand Champ 1 caster. I can do it. Come on. Pro players, they could learn that in 5 minutes in free play. It's something that every pro should just know how to do. But they could probably learn it in this timeout if they really wanted to. You could just hop in a free play during this timeout. I bet you they could just figure out how to flip both ways in 1 minute. Never mind 5. So maybe that's what they're up to here. Tundra doesn't look like it though. They're having a bit of a chat there with their coach, seeing if they can figure out what to do differently. The demos definitely worked in game number 3. The physical play was really working for them in offense, but the problem right now is getting out of defense. Yeah. That's what they haven't figured out.
Yeah, especially I think KC adapted very slightly to the ways that Tundra are trying to escape their own side of the field, and it's been a little bit more laid back, a little bit more of holding the line towards the midfield rather than trying to keep pressing forward and find the next goal. And it's made Tundra have to outplay or find some way to either outplay or outpace. Two things that don't seem to be happening, especially in the past few games. But KC, just keep this going. It's been a brilliant adaptation. The one game that they did lose, they will feel very frustrated by, because they did seem like they were maybe the stronger team throughout that game, but still, gotta take what you've got ahead of you, and instead they were unable to. What they do have ahead of them is 3 match points. Will they be able to add themselves to the top 4 to give themselves a major head start ahead of the, well, major over in Rotterdam? I would love to see them. There's a whole bunch of teams I would love to see, but European Europe, we can only send 5. And it's all about stepping up and getting those points when you have the chance.
You know, one thing I'm definitely going to be looking out for in this game defensively from Tundra is, since they struggled so much to escape defense in game number 4, I want to see more goal side defensive 50-50s. They conceded a goal in the last game from, just 50-50 the ball on the wrong side. Oh, look at this though. That's what we pointed out earlier. Their physical play, it is working in offense. Again, they time it perfectly. Itachi did about as well as he could there with the save attempt, but didn't have enough momentum to get there inside.
Weirdly, Itachi wishes he got hit harder into that one, so he could have kept the momentum going even further on. 1-0. And Tundra get themselves back into it again. It's just been 1 game on, 1 game off from Tundra. I do like the ideas that they have. Castillo again. Almost found the setup for his X. Vatira can't find anything extra from that one. Exotic does turn himself back around. They want to try and keep this in the midfield, although Tundra happy to see that. A bit of impatience there from KC, whilst it does slow down the ball going into their side of the field. And Tundra could just take control of the ball yet again. Tachi waits for it. Here's Exotic off the backboard, but so is everybody else.
Exotic was trying to find a way through there. He sees free jump cover in the net, and there's another player coming towards him, so he had to do something. Unfortunately, the backboard is covered as well. That's a great job by Tundra to have all the options closed up there for Karmine Corp to work with, but here come the boost starvations now with Vatira slowing down the pace of the ball. Big dunk on the goal line, it's in! There was a solid defensive touch there, but Vatira was just too strong.
Over the top of one, get past the other. Vatira, far too much. And there we go. You want the individual outplay ability? Vatira has got you covered. 1-1, only 90 seconds into this game, and that was a kickoff available for both teams. Just nudged slightly away from the follow-up as Rizex moves back in. Tundra finding almost exclusive success. Bar the Castillo outplay from earlier on, all of their offensive success has relied on a bump on the goalkeeper. They need to get themselves in a position where somebody can not only get the ball into the opposing side of the field, but maintain momentum, hook back around, and take out the third man. If that's not happened, neither has the offense.
Yeah, this is just, I think, going to be another example of Karmine Corp being a bit too good in this matchup. And if you're up against a team who are just a bit quicker to the ball, just a little bit more efficient with their movement, a little bit more effective with their ball striking, then you've got to win in other aspects of the game.
They've got him again!
Oh, that's a great save. The placement was on target that time. We've called out their placements of their shots earlier in the series. That one was on point. What a save again from Tachi this time.
It's ridiculous. You think bumping them is going to be enough, but apparently not. And it's just all part of the plan. Itachi back up yet again. Still 1-1. Tundra have at least got some level of the puzzle figured out. Pass. Rizex gets that before Vatira, but just Vatira's presence made Rizex feel like he just had to power the ball into the corner. Tundra need to make sure that they've got a follow-up on these touches. They can't afford just to hand the ball away. It's at least awkward, but Vatira can still take back over. And Vatira always seems to be getting 1 for 2 at the moment. Giving his team that numbers advantage, giving them some boost. Actually, now tracking back.
This is the real clear issue that Tundra are having is whenever they get a clean touch, just a free clear in defense, after that touch has happened, it just goes straight to a Karmine Corp player and then it's back into their half even harder than they've hit it. So, you know, maybe they've got to just try and slow the ball down a little bit here. They don't need to just clear it every time. They don't need to give it away any time, certainly. They could just try dribbling a bit more, like driving the ball into 50s. Definitely lacking passing options compared to Karmine Corp, who are much more willing to linger upfield for a brief moment and provide an option to pass to, as we see from Exotic right here. He just darts down the line, full trust in his teammates to hit the ball towards him. It's exactly what's happened. He's not made too much happen with that, but it just shows the difference between the two teams, that Karmine Corp have got that option, Tundra don't. They really are just stuck with nothing to aim at upfield. It's again, the ball just goes straight away to Karmine Corp.
Back to the corner, Rizex trying to find a way out, but that's not the ball control required the help of Castillo. Well, that could be workable, actually. Riz was hoping for the bump on Itachi. Shot would have been on target either way. 30 seconds. Tundra need that one spark of magic. And Itachi is in no rush to play this. Gonna force Tundra to go into the danger zone of that opposing side of the field.
Yeah, he's kind of showing exactly what I wanted Tundra to be doing. I mean, if there's no pressure, if you've got a free ball, then keep it. Oh, look at this. All of a sudden, we've got end-to-end stuff and a very realistic chance to score for Tundra to steal away the game. Not, you know, in the sense that they don't deserve it. It's been an even matchup, but that one really did come out of nowhere. And for once, Karmine Corp did not have an answer.
Yeah, Casey were in full control for the opening half of this game, but second half has felt a lot closer. Casey still with the majority of possession, and once again in the background you can just see Castillo was attacking Exotic yet again. Now Exotic, opposite side of the field, double tap attempted!
Too good.
And of course it was gonna go in!
Just simply too good. You give Karmine Corp this many chances on net, they're gonna score one of them. They've got 3 mechanical players on their team. Exotic wanted to remind the world of that fact there with another clinical double. And you know, the shooting boots weren't on today for Tundra earlier on. They missed a very realistic chance to go 2-1 up in the series, and since then it's just been all Karmine Corp.